you talked about, high population of Muslims in Mississauga. Here's what people don't want to talk about is the reason that a lot of those people are here. And by the way, you come from a Muslim country, right? And as a minority there, you know firsthand what occurs there.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people have come here to get away from.
That's right.
Not that they're just, okay, your family was Christian, but Muslims that wanted to get away from Muslim and Islam ideology.
That's right.
That want to come to a country so that they can have liberty and freedom and for their children. And now is following them here.
Yeah.
And the government that is supposed to protect them is literally giving in, because I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I believe most Western leaders are compromised, right? And now they are letting in the very thing that has attacked these people and oppressed those people in those other countries. And you're not even protecting your own citizens. And for some reason, you always want to appease those that are violent, those that are radical, those that are constantly pushing the envelope.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're watching What Was That About? Thank you for joining us for today's episode. I hope you're doing well. My name is Moses Khan. I am with lead pastor Tony Soldano, lead pastor here at All People's Church. How you doing, Doctor?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. Christmas time is almost
here. I'm excited.
Although Christmas started at my house. We have the trees up, we
bought a tree.
Lights. Did you?
Hey.
Did you buy one of those like skinny little things that go like a half pretend tree, or is it a full?
You actually know what kind of tree we got.
So I want it publicly.
You want to publicly shame me for not getting a full size tree?
I think they call it a pencil tree.
We got a pencil tree. We live in a condo, so we need space.
Like a pencil skirt. Anyway.
That's weird.
So it's not a real tree, but it's...
No, it's a tree. We got a tree, but it's a skinny tree.
Like malnourished.
Yeah, it's
like malnourished. It's not a real...
What's that drug that everybody's taking? Ozempic. It's a tree on Ozempic.
Okay, we digress.
We're going to talk about something...
we always do at the beginning of the program.
We're a little behind on this.
Okay.
But it needs to be talked about because, to be honest, before you brought it up to me, I wasn't even aware of this.
Yes.
So November 11th just happened.
Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
Where we honor
that's right.
living and fallen veterans of the wars that Canada has been involved in. Historical facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's important.
Let's lay that foundation.
Yeah. And so then we have an individual in Mississauga, the mayor of Mississauga, Carolyn, what's her last name? Parrish.
Oh, yes.
Holds a vigil for terror leader Yahya Sinwar.
Mastermind of the October 7th
and
Israel invasion.
Yeah, and there's a poster that has a picture of him and says, "Lest we forget our heroes," which we normally attribute to the fallen veterans throughout the history of Canada and wars. So she caught a lot of heat on this, obviously. But the funny thing is Hamas is applauding her. So it's like, what does that say about you? You know what I mean? If a terrorist group is applauding you, like what kind of person are you? And this particular, I think this is from the National Post here. She even after the lashback she got, doubled down on her state. No, this is, she talked about how a terrorist to some isn't a terrorist to others. And,
one it can be a hero to others.
It could be a hero to somebody. And it's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Well, our country is messed up because of people like this. This woke ideology that we're going to continue to expose until the Canadian people wake up to this nonsense. The National Post actually wrote another article basically saying that, Canada is in love with radical Islam and is literally laying out the red carpet for these people, whether it's inviting them into the country, having these types of memorials for people that, like this individual, it is fact that this is an oppressive person. He is a kidnapper. He is a murderer. He's a terrorist, which the majority of the world recognizes him as a terrorist. Like somewhere, Pastor Moses, we got to get to the place where we are able to identify between right and wrong. But people like this individual, who is a mayor and in government, by the way, they always want to land in the gray. They always want to land in the gray that says, well, hey, listen, if he's a hero to you, then that's okay. And,
Right.
and if you feel like you're a girl,
Yeah.
then that's okay. This woke ideology that is based on feelings. It is not based on facts.
Yeah.
It is not based on truth. And behind this, by the way, there's another radical Islamic activist that wanted to do this, and nobody's outraged.
Right.
Nobody's upset by this. That first of all, you hijack Remembrance Day,
Right, which is just crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Lest we forget is about our war veterans that fought the Nazis and fought quote unquote enemies of society and of the world.
That is incredibly disgraceful.
Yeah.
And if you are a part of Canada's history, like what a slap to the face that is.
Wow.
That here you are, part of the heritage of the freedom we have in Canada, and this is the stuff being done by political leaders. It is just wild.
I mean, yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing if it's grassroots. We've seen we've seen the parades and the marches and even the denigration of statues and whatever by quote unquote everyday people, which means, by the way, that spirit and that movement's in our country. But yeah, when you have government officials, and by the way, other than a few other government officials that denounce it, there's not a huge outcry, And by the way, this guy Sinwar, he's not only bad to Israelis, he's bad to Palestinians. Like, do you know how many of his own people he tortured and slaughtered?
Interesting.
Like, it's not that you're like, oh, you're just pro-Jew. No. He's killed his own people.
Wow.
He literally, when he came into power, he wiped out his enemies.
Yeah.
Like, this is a torturous individual
Right.
that you want to memorialize. It's disgraceful and disgusting, and quite frankly, it has no place in this country. She should be fired.
100%.
The people of Mississauga should revolt. I don't care which side of the equation you're on.
Yep.
Because there is something fundamentally wrong that is going on in this nation. And the mindset of these people that is now impacting the mindset of our children and the generations coming. And by the way, then there was another issue in Ottawa with a principal that he ran some sort of Palestinian war cry song to right in the midst of Remembrance Day ceremonies with children there. Now you have Jewish children, people that are feeling, and his whole thing, of course, we have to be diverse, we have to be inclusive, and Remembrance Day is only about this is what he said about some white guy doing some military thing.
Oh my God.
This is a principal. I think his name is Hobbs. Jeez. Another guy, sir, you need to be fired. You have no. This is the problem. This is the problem in the education system, and this is why in America, Trump is tearing down this woke ideology. It needs to come to Canada because enough is enough, and quite frankly, we've had it.
Yeah.
And if no one else is going to voice it on the left wing, you're not going to hear this on the CBC. Then we're going to call it out.
That's right.
This is left-wing radical propaganda, wokeism at its best, and they are impacting our children.
Yeah, so true.
They're out of their minds, bro.
They're crazy. And it's such a political move because even Mississauga is a high. They've got a high Muslim population. And so there's certain, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to please certain people. You're trying to get votes. You're trying to stay, in power and the rest of it. And so it's like, even our president or our prime minister, this is how he operates. He sees the population and he wants to appease to them. And so he moves in favor with them, calling out, conservatives and the right side, when it's like, you are you're destroying the country. Yeah. You are destroying the country. And then I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if this has to do with it, but Trudeau put out a video on, we're going to cut back on the immigration and the rest of it. And nowhere in that video does he take any responsibility. No. He is just casting blame and throwing blame to other people.
But he calls them bad actors.
Oh, yeah, bad actors.
Yeah, you're the worst one. Like, who's responsible for that?
Exactly. Yeah. And so we have this thing, even like, underneath all of it in our country that, man, we are just destroying our country because of the things that we are letting take place, because of the things that we are allowing.
But Pastor Paul, you talked about, high population of Muslims in Mississauga. Mm-hmm. Here's what people don't want to talk about is the reason that a lot of those people are here. And by the way, you come from a Muslim country, right? And as a minority there, firsthand what occurs there.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people have come here to get away from.
That's right.
Not that they're just, okay, your family was Christian, but Muslims that wanted to get away from Muslim and Islam ideology.
That's right.
That want to come to a country so that they can have liberty and freedom and for their children. And now is following them here.
Yeah.
And the government that is supposed to protect them
right.
is literally giving in, because I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I believe most Western leaders are compromised, right? And now they are letting in the very thing that has attacked these people and oppressed those people in those other countries. And you're not even protecting your own citizens. And for some reason, you always want to appease those that are violent, those that are radical, those that are constantly pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
And you cannot decipher between something as simple as, hey, this is not a terror. This is not a hero.
Yeah.
This is a terrorist. And we're not going to honor this individual. And by the way, if Hamas applauds you, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Mayor Parrish, for doing that.
That's right.
That is disgraceful. Is that how you go to bed at night? You go, wow, I've got a massive terrorist group that applauds me. That's what you want to be known for?
Right. Crazy.
It's unbelievable. And it's, honestly, it's not just in Mississauga, but that was something we need to talk about. But it is all over the country.
Yeah, we're seeing it all over our country.
And here again, what listen, if they're not trying to indoctrinate them into sex and sexualizing children, now we're trying to indoctrinate them into this radical ideology, which is, by the way, is beyond just a religion. It is and you would know this better than I, it is a whole system and way of life that is based on domination.
Yeah, if you study other places in the world where they have been allowed to continue to push the envelope, those places have become more and more destructive. Those places have become more and more hateful, violent, aggressive. You can study places in Europe that have allowed this stuff, and it's just, things have gotten very unhealthy.
And and here, spare me the you two are racist, and all the phobics that you want to add to all your little adjectives, because quite frankly, we're tired of being labeled.
Yeah,
we're tired of being called names. That the moment that we say, hey, these are the facts, this is the truth, and this is the reality. But what is even more disgraceful with this individual is not only did you make a mistake, but then you double down on your mistake and say, hey, I won't, I'm not going to back down.
Yeah.
No matter what people are, matter what people are saying. Yeah. That is truly disgraceful that you can't even admit, hey, listen, you made a mistake. And you know what? Or sometimes they make decisions waiting to test the waters to see what, hey, what's the push back going to be? But when the pushback came, she pushed right back.
Yeah, right back.
Wow. And so she needs to be fired, quite frankly. You need to step down. I don't think you carry Canadian values, or certainly, listen, you clearly have your card in woke-ism. We get that. But as far as, understanding that there are more than just that group here.
Yeah.
And by the way, who wants to honor terrorists anyway? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, what person in their right mind even does that?
Yeah.
And they're still hostages.
Yep, exactly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
It is. Well said. Hey, listen, thank you for watching us, for watching this episode, and for watching us. Hey, let us know in the comment section what you think about this. We know that this is prevalent in our country in more ways than one, and so we'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, share it with a couple people you know. Pastor, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, we'll see you next week. God bless.